Yo, it's about that time. Let's get it.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters.
Welcome everybody to the Ringside Hour, the most talked about, must see, must listen to podcast covering all things old and new wrestling and other topics in between. It's your boy Mo, and of course my sidekick Nilo. We have shout out to DJ Q on the ones and twos, and a special guest, the Black King himself, Deonte Ford. Y'all ready? Yes, I'm ready. Let's start the show.
Let's go.
Start over in the camera.
You all right?
Oh,
Zooming yourself in, bro.
I was checking, like, with my eyes okay, you know. Well, I guess we're good. We're good.
Well, apparently. Welcome, everyone, to the Ringside Hour. As our new time slot, we are at 8 p.m. on Thursdays every Thursday. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at the Ringside Hour. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, and or Periscope Twitter. And
Periscope,
same thing. Today we are joined by, as always, DJ Q, and as you heard Mo say, Deonte, our local professional wrestler, I guess, even though he's out in California, right?
No, Oregon.
West Coast.
Originally from Chicago. You guys saw him on the podcast here a couple weeks ago. Excited to have him back. We consider him our encyclopedia in the chats. You always see him answering our questions. So appreciate you, D, for that.
Yes, sir.
But we have a pretty packed show. But before we get to our show,
are you about to talk about
next week?
Oh, are we talking about Britney? No?
Yeah, we're just talking. Let's start with Britney Spears.
I didn't know if we were talking about Free Britney. You know?
Oh man, what do we got going on this week?
Oh man, we have an amazing guest next week. We have you seen him on AEW wrestling, so we have Musa. Chicago's on as well, so we're gonna chat it up with him next week. Get some inside scoop on AEW, what it was like, you know, his time there, and you know, how did it get started, and you know, maybe convince us to become some wrestlers in our old age right now.
right. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Right.
All I have to do is just fall on people, right, Deonte? That's all. Just teach me how to climb the top rope and just fall and not hurt myself.
just fall and not hurt yourself.
Just fall. That's it. I'll be a one-move wrestler. You know, he's going to the top rope. As always.
The reverse squash. The reverse squash.
or you can do the Snoop Dogg, right, where you land on your feet.
No, bro. We just do just do the bonsai drop, bro. Just bring it back. Nobody else does it. Do the bonsai drop.
You know, that takes us back to that episode when we was talking about the moves. That is a very effective move. You know, you got to have a lot of ass to fall down with that move. But I'm in that category.
Oh man,
Be eating my carbs, so you know.
I qualify for that line.
You know? Right, I qualify.
Speaking of which, my hole.
this still hasn't gotten old from last week.
Nope.
No, nope.
Top for the rest of the year.
I don't know if that's ever going to get old. That's just good.
No, I mean it's flawless. It's perfect.
Exactly.
You know.
All right, let's get into it. So this week, guys, we are going to talk about a lot of pay-per-views coming up. We just had Vengeance for NXT. We're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber coming up this Sunday for WWE. We have some AEW talk and go from there. Then after that, we are going to talk about our favorite pay-per-view sets. So we'll have some conversation regarding that. As you know, WWE and even back in the day, some WCW and AEW with their sets. So we'll talk about that. And then our topic for the day outside of wrestling, or I guess our debate, will be our Lollapalooza, because we are from Chicago. So our Lollapalooza dream lineup. So we each came up with about 10 artists who we would have in our show. So we'll talk about that. So make sure you leave your comments in the comments through Facebook or YouTube or Periscope, and we will put them on the show. But we'll go ahead and get started here with some recaps, the goings-ons, if you will, of WWE, NXT, and AEW. So first, let's talk. I guess we'll go with NXT. Just came back from Vengeance this past Sunday. Overall, my thoughts. Good pay-per-view per se, since it's a takeover.
I'm curious. I want to hear it from Deonte on this one. You know, because Deonte is always the first one to comment on in the chats. So, what's your thoughts on NXT last week?
Vengeance was a solid for me. Vengeance was a solid pay-per-view. I feel like it continued basically what NXT has done with their takeovers, and basically, you know, like it continued that excellence that takeovers have. You know, like it's minimal, usually a 5-card pay-per-view every time, and the matches are always solid front to back. You know, you have a couple crazy moments here or there, and that's pretty much what it is. As far as like all the matches, I had nothing against none of the outcomes for any of the matches. None of them. I love the Johnny Gargano and Kushida match. The main event was my favorite. Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor. It was very technical. It was a technical masterpiece. Q agrees with me because like I said, growing up, the main match that I always tell people that got me into wrestling for sure was Brett versus Shawn at WrestleMania 12, and that was a technical match.
WrestleMania.
That Iron Man. If you look at and the reason why I said that is because it was very old school. Like the matches was technical. They were trying to break each other down, submissions, everything, and you had like a couple of big impact moves sprinkled in there, but nothing like you didn't see a bunch of suicide dives, a bunch of, you know, jumping over the top ropes and a bunch of crazy spots. It was technical. It was nasty. It was brutal. Like it was exactly what I loved about professional wrestling.
Have you ever tried a dive over the top rope? Yeah,
I've done a couple dives on the top rope. Not any topes. Like I do more like slingshots over the top rope. Like I'll pull and do a slingshot cross body. More so, I want to actually try to do the corkscrew version of that eventually. But suicide dives and topes scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie about that. They do scare me a little bit, but yeah, and I don't use them that often. Like I only use them in a match when I need to, like because, like I say, the product today is usually oversaturated because everybody wants to be a cruiserweight, everybody wants to be a high flyer, and everybody wants to be this hybrid wrestler, which is nothing wrong with that, but it takes away from every match on the card when everybody has a suicide dive or a tope. You know,
absolutely, yeah. I could definitely see that. You know, when we talk about because you brought up Johnny Gargano, the match now from NXT on Wednesday. What do you guys think about the angle where Austin Theory was, you know, kidnapped and all of that?
Been there, done that.
You think it's
what they say the NXT parking lot is probably the scariest place or the most dangerous place in America right now. Everybody gets annihilated there. So it's the same old. I mean, I like
thought it was funny.
Well, Austin Theory is funny in himself. Like
right.
When they brought him up, I was scared because he had just started in NXT and was starting to get that going. They paired him with the perfect person in Johnny Gargano. So I think that in part of the way I think is great. So Timothy Allen says the corkscrew. Mo, you've done a couple corkscrews, haven't you?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I've done a few in my day.
I just feel like that's something that you just have to get out of your head. Some moves I feel like you plan, but I don't know. Do you ever do that, Deonte? Just like take a chance with the moves?
Yeah. So I was in a match.
D, hold on, D. You were so like still. I thought your camera froze, but you were ice cold. So like
I'm like, if he responds, then I think we good.
He's focused, guys. He is focused.
I get focused sometimes.
Focus, man.
Wrestling. But
I want to do a moonsault.
I'm taking chances. So when I first started training, the first thing I like in my training, I did a lion salt. One of my first in my first year of training. I haven't busted it out in the match yet because everybody's ring is different. So learning the ropes in people's rings is a little tricky to navigate. But
when you say that, is it like it's just it feels different? Like some are rough, some are smooth. More, what's the difference?
So when I first started training, I trained in a 4-sided ring. 4-sided rings. The side, and so one thing, there are different sizes to rings. You have 16 by 16, 18 by 18, and then what the WWE has is 20 by 20. Those are the natural. I think the smallest ring you can get is a 14 by 14. Back in the day, WCW, I think used to have a 16 by 16. Like if you look at some of the old Nitros and Saturday nights, those rings are like really small and really tight. So it forces you to really pay attention to what you're doing in the ring when you're doing the moves and you're taking bumps and stuff. You have to know how to protect yourself. And then the ropes, no matter where you go, because I primarily wrestled in a 6-sided ring for the year I wrestled. I've had one match in a 4-sided ring, one. But the ropes are different. Like there are different types of ropes, whether people wrap them or tape them, and how they're tightened to, like, whoever tightens the ropes when they put the ring together is usually to the specifics of who's putting the ring together, how tight the ropes are. So how much bounce you get, how much spring you can get, as far as like if you're a high flyer and you like to do springboards and a lot of jumps and moves off the top rope.
So then that makes it where you determine what moves you're going to hit depending on the ring that you're in, right?
Yeah, it forces you to think a little bit, because say if I was a Rey Mysterio type, like Rey can work in any ring, but that comes with years of experience and then getting a feel for it. So if I'm primarily a high flyer and I like to do springboards, but somebody's ropes might be a little too tight for me, I have to try to either figure out how I can adjust what I do to the ring, or as far as like trying to do my springboards and get my bounce right, get my steps right, or I just change up my arsenal, just a little, tweak it a little bit to where I can do certain moves off a bounce or whatever. Like Ray Phoenix is another good example of somebody who can adapt to like different ring settings. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see his ring work with how he walks the ropes and bounces on the ropes,
Can you do that?
No, I can't do that.
So, I mean, come on, have you ever tried it?
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying about rings. Rings are scary.
I think you pull it off, Deonte. I think I just want to just pop this up real quick. I can see you going off of a balancing on a rope and going off. So I can see that.
So I have practiced springboards, but it's been about 2 or 3 years since I've actually tried a springboard. I've been close to getting it. It does, like I said, it takes a little practice, but once you get it, it's like riding a bike. Now that picture that you just showed, that's one of my gears that I have not got to wrestle in yet, but it is inspired by Black Lightning. Black Lightning.
Okay, so if I decide to go down that path, let me borrow that. Let me borrow it.
I could, bro. If you hit my truck, we should have a problem. I can let you. Like I said, I'm waiting for my last set of gear. It's my Chicago inspired gear, but I can let you borrow the Black Lightning joint. You can come out and be the new sexual chocolate, man.
Sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate. But so as we bring it back around,
So as far as Vengeance, I agree with you. It was a overall good show. Gargano wins. MSK wins the Dusty Cup.
Yeah.
Io wins in that triple threat, and then the women's Dusty Cup is Dakota Kai and Raquel and Dakota. So I was pleasantly surprised. I agree with you. The ending, though, with Mr. O'Reilly getting turned on, what do you think of that?
I don't think that's a full turn. So here's my thought. This is just my personal opinion. No, I'm not saying this is what it's going to be. So basically, there was a report that came out back in August, right before SummerSlam. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, the UE is going to get called up." All this. No, they kept him in NXT. The report was saying that Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were going to move forward as the faces, and Bobby Fish and Roddy were going to be the tag team. Bobby Fish got hurt again, so then you put Adam Cole with Roddy and all that. But at the end of the day, Adam Cole is still the leader. He's like Triple H in Evolution. He wants the world title. So you kind of have this dynamic where, okay, I'm putting down the champ to let him know I still want the title, but now I got to put down one of my best friends in the group because eventually it's going to have to come down to me and him. And I want to be I'm the guy. I'm the longest reigning champion since Finn Balor took his ball up to Raw and did what he did. I am the guy, and you're gonna have to fall in line and fall into place behind Adam Cole. Like, we gave you your shot, Kyle. You had 2 chances. You didn't get it done. Step out the way and let Adam Cole step back into the spotlight and take back what's rightfully mine.
Well, I get your point with that. Me personally, I don't want to see the Undisputed Era pretty much break up, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Like, I really do feel like it's the end of the era, but could be wrong. They've been
going on for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Oh, it's been longer.
Oh, about 3. Ever since Adam Cole debuted, they've been. Yeah. It's been about It's been about almost 4 years because they've main evented 3 War Games. They've been to 3 War Games matches.
So all good things must come to an end,
I guess.
Okay.
I think Adam Cole needs to break out on his own, and
I think Kyle O'Reilly break out on his own as well. Yeah, I don't think he's ready.
He is, but I'm saying separate him. Like to D's point, it's like you have two main eventers right there. One of them's got to come through. There's only one title. Go to like the North American Championship, or move one up to the main roster and one go for the NXT. It's like.
But here's the thing: all 4 members of the Undisputed Era are all accomplished singles competitors. Kyle O'Reilly was the ROH World Champion at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Bobby Fish has been a contender for that title. Adam Cole has been ROH World Champion. Roddy's been a contender for the title. They all have, like, even before Roddy joined the Undisputed Era, just the matches he was putting on in NXT made you think that he was going to be like a main event player. So they all have that potential if you were to break the whole group up. They all I feel like, as long as it makes sense, they all can thrive, whether it be in the North American title or the NXT. Yeah,
that makes sense.
All right, let's keep it moving here to the main roster. So, big thing obviously we got coming up this Sunday is Elimination Chamber. We have the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, which has Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Baron Corbin, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. And then the Raw one has Drew in it, defending the title, with AJ, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. Who do we have for the Raw one?
Drew's in it. It's Drew. It's Kofi Kingston now.
Yeah, Kofi.
Kofi's
in there.
Yep,
Kofi's in there.
Yeah. Drew, Kofi, AJ, Randy, Jeff Hardy, like you said, and Sheamus.
Yep. Who do we got for Raw?
That's Raw.
I know. Who do we got?
No, who do you think is going to take that?
As far as winning, Drew's walking out with the title.
Okay. We don't think Drew's time is over.
No.
Which one of the guys is going to take it for WrestleMania in that match?
So I'm what I'm looking at more so, my tale for Elimination Chamber is the SmackDown Chamber, because I know they've been running this whole story with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, but with Edge saying that he's going to make his decision after the Elimination Chamber, I feel like he's possibly going to throw the swerve in on whoever wins the SmackDown Chamber and pick Roman Reigns for Mania. That's
absolutely.
I think that's a possibility, because then what you can do is you can set up a triple threat match, for whoever wins the chamber, and you can make it to where like Roman doesn't have to lose. Like, so basically the process would be you get the person to win the chamber. Edge says, I'm going to challenge at WrestleMania. You set up a triple threat match. What that effectively does is you can have Edge take the title or whoever else take the title without making Roman lose and making him look weak, and you still protect Roman Reigns as the head of the table, and then you set up this whole story of him trying to get the title back.
Well, see,
unless you keep the titles on, so let's go with the Raw one or the one with Drew. No one there aside AJ Styles, I think, can carry the next program. From my opinion. And then if you go to the SmackDown one, I see what you're saying with the triple threat, but none of those guys, and maybe Cesaro if they give him a push, or if they bring Daniel Bryan back to give him another push. I don't know that any of those guys.
Deserve a shot at Roman. Yeah.
Well, it's not going to happen. Roman is WWE's babyface,
right?
But he's a heel. But he's like the face. I mean, he's the face of the company. There we go. Yeah. So they're not going to get rid of him as far as being the title holder. Fox is not going to allow that. You know, so
it's not happening.
It's no. It's not going to happen. No. But this goes back to last week where I said it. Is going to be Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
And Balor.
Hands down.
I'm thinking Finn, bro. I it's so many interesting things to that, bro. I don't know, man. Like I say, I'm here for the Roman thing. Like I agree with Nilo. When it comes to Raw, AJ Styles is about the only one that makes sense if you were going to take the title. But
you guys are delusional.
I don't see that happening. I see Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania. Because they've been planting the seeds for this Sheamus turn for like 2 months. He finally kicks him in the face. I don't think that's going to be the end of their story. So I think you possibly have Drew versus Sheamus at Mania, and then you can have Edge versus Roman.
Thank you.
Or Edge versus, because the way I'm looking at the Balor situation is that Balor is probably going to go in a triple threat match against Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly at the next TakeOver event or whatever next time they want him to defend the title.
Mo, I made my argument last week, but it was more of a more of a piss you off kind of argument. But damn well, it for the NXT title.
So we don't want to see Finn in that main event.
Yeah, they were trying to top ratings, bro. That's all they were trying to do.
I mean, I love Finn. Don't get me wrong. If Finn was on the main roster, then absolutely, I would go for an Edge. But Edge winning the Royal Rumble, I don't think I don't think it lives up to the hype to put an NXT against the Royal Rumble winner.
It absolutely does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It do and it don't. It does and it doesn't. Like I think Charlotte set the precedent last year, but like I say, the story made sense. You know what I'm saying? From that standpoint, like she was saying, like, okay, I've conquered Raw, I've conquered SmackDown. I haven't been to NXT in a while. Let me show that I still can be the dominant queen. And then she also uplifted Rhea Ripley that much more because Rhea had been stepping her game up and she continued that consistency, and then she went to another level with Charlotte. Now with the Edge situation, yes, it's the dream match for him and Balor, but it could elevate Balor, but it's not one of them. Like Balor is already a proven champion.
It's not a WrestleMania moment. Point blank and simple. It's just not.
You have to make the story make sense. It has to have a besides Edge just challenging for the title, their interactions leading up to Mania have to draw you into you wanting to see it outside of it just being a dream match. Because I can agree with you, it doesn't seem like a WrestleMania main event right now at this moment.
Mo, I think it is.
Great.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? You know. You know, one of these days you're gonna corner me, and I'm gonna kick your ass.
But so to that point though, with the chamber, Miz, what if we see now? This is something I think would be pretty
Money
nice.
in the Bank swerve, yes.
Money in the Bank swerve. But here's the thing: what if Miz took the Money in the Bank down to NXT and cashed in on Finn Balor?
That is perfect. That Deonte, you get 10 points because that one.
That you're on board with.
I'm all on board for it. It's new. It's organic. It's something we haven't seen before. I'm all for it.
For you?
It's chalupa quality.
He said chalupa quality, bro.
It's chalupa quality.
But here's the thing though, and I like the idea. I don't think they'll go through with it just yet. But the Miz is the type of person where he could make NXT must see just off his promos alone if you let the Miz be the Miz. Like WWE has to get out. It's been stated before. They have to get out of this trend of having Money in the Bank winners and then basically just having them lose constantly, putting people over just until they cash in. Then they cash in, they win the title, and everybody's supposed to accept them as World Championship material. It doesn't work like that. It diminishes the Money in the Bank, and it diminishes the person who wins it. You know, and this has been a trend for like the last like 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
It's not a. I mean, like if you go back to Edge, RVD, some of the first couple of winners, those guys never had like a bad stretch, or they never went on like a 9-month losing streak before they cashed in and won the title. No, they were always presented as who they are, as strong characters. You know what I'm saying? Like the Miz looks weaker with the Money in the Bank than he did when he first had the Money in the Bank, the first time he ever won it.
I agree.
Like I don't know, but I like the Swerve idea.
Yeah,
so.
I'm down for it.
Let's go over to AEW. Not too much on here except for, can someone explain to me what an exploding barbed wire death match is?
Bro, I don't know, but there's been one before?
Yes, it's on YouTube. I kid you not. The minute I read the results yesterday at AEW, there was a match that popped up in my YouTube, an exploding barbed wire death match. I kid you not.
I mean, that just sounds like someone has to die.
No one dies. No one. They're death matches. They're death matches from Japan. It's a lot of pyrotechnics involved with the explosions. Think of what's some of that gruesome wrestling. I can't think of what.
Well, more so, it's going down the line of old school ECW.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, as far as like,
bro, even before, because like Terry Funk and all those guys, bro, death matches have been around way before.
So we're talking about like a New Jack style.
Worse than New Jack, bro. No, when I say death matches, like look them up. They have it's like when you used to watch backyard wrestling and you see guys going through like light tubes and shit.
Oh yeah,
those the type of so basically you take all the ropes off the ring and you replace it with barbed wire. Yeah, like that's how Cactus Jack lost the ear.
Wow.
You replace it with the ropes are replaced with barbed wire. The barbed wire doesn't have any give, like outside of being as loose as it is. So when you get thrown into it, you're like it's instantly tearing and ripping flesh and clothes and your gear, all that shit. And then you also add into it. It's pretty much like it's like saying put barbed wire around a ring and then just have a street fight. Like
I mean, this just sounds horrible.
No, it's priceless.
I mean, this is bad, guys. Like,
you seem real terrified, bro. Like
I am terrified, just the way he's describing it. I'm like,
so
I mean,
how's this legal?
Kenny and John Moxley going for the fight. Exploding barbed wire death match. I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, guys, we have Sammy out of the Inner Circle, which we know how that's going to play out eventually. MJF will take over. Young Bucks not getting helped from the Bullet Club last week when they were getting beat up. And then on the women's side, Rio beats Serena Deeb to move on in the tournament. So good stuff all around. I'm excited.
And Sting took a power bomb.
Sting took a power bomb.
That was on note page number 2. That is correct.
Okay.
Sting did not die. We're good.
Thankfully. I love how they had the... Huh?
That was a kind of nasty powerbomb too.
It was. Did you all notice the camera angle? I think they had a drone. Like, was it a drone shot where it was from above, where it caught his facial reaction? Where he was just, it was like a camera like above him, and he was just laid out, and he was just like. I've never seen a camera angle like that, from when someone is laying on a mat. So shout outs to AEW for that. That was good.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, he was.
I think I know the way you're talking about, but hold on.
He was just like that.
How was it again?
I hope his back is okay. Those some 60-year-old bones.
Right.
So I don't care if you're Sting or whoever.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So Any minute now. There we go.
I nailed it.
Yeah. His whole facial expression just yells off. That's it. Just
that's gonna be the new commercial for Ben Gay.
how did I get here?
Wait, Mo, hold on. Wait.
That's that hangover phase, bro.
Yeah.
And who wore it better? Oh man! All right, let's go into our topic. I'm excited about it. I'm all about new sets. I hate that they use the same generic sets now, so thought it was a great idea to go through this with you guys. So we have a couple of ones. How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to go through the ones I have pictures for, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we could bring up some because from what you have, I pretty much have a lot of the same ones.
So let's go with this is very go get some water, buddy. It's okay.
Okay, I'll be right back. Yeah,
we're just live. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just pause the live.
So let's talk about Night of Champions. Very, very regal with the title.
That was nice. Yeah, it was very nice.
Thoughts on
it? Was simple. Like it. It's simple. It highlights the titles. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when I first saw that set. It reminded me of that one Royal Rumble they did in 2006, where they went with like the Roman Coliseum type thing. Mm-hmm. Which that was a good set too, the Royal Rumble one. But yeah,
and also let's point out when WWE had these unique designs for their pay-per-views, these sets, the set designs, it I don't know, it helped really get you into the mood, like the feeling of being at a watching a pay-per-view. Yep. Right? It's like the anticipation of that Sunday for that pay-per-view was what the set is going to look like. Because they were so cool. So I mean, I would love for them to bring the designs back, and that way we can get a feel of we're watching a pay-per-view. And not just as another Raw or SmackDown.
That's what I say. But that was a great one. Yeah, put more effort into it, the anticipation, because it's like you look forward to that before the show. Once the show starts, that's one of the first things that you look for. It's like, man, I wonder what the set's gonna look like. It's gonna be.
I mean, they have the money.
Oh yeah, they definitely
they do, but I think it was more so of a cost cutting thing, because it does take a while. You have to have the concepts, the building, the R&D for it. So I think Vince was looking more of it as a cost cutting measure, but it did add
with those NBC Universal money. They're good.
Thank you. Yeah, they have money. They have the money.
You can't lead us into years that almost over a decade or so doing the one thing, and then you just pull the rug.
Stop just like that.
No, I feel you.
Let's go with this is Fully Loaded, 1999. You got Austin, Undertaker, and Vince.
Nice.
Basic. This looks like somebody created in 2K.
You caught me on camera.
My bad. Go ahead. Take your sip.
I'm back.
Gotcha. WCW. I think this is one of my
favorites.
And favorite, yeah, exactly.
Halloween, yeah.
WCW versus NWO Nitro, the video game on N64.
That was cool. They had this. Did they have this set on Mayhem too, or no?
Yeah, I think they did. I think they had it on Mayhem. Okay. I know they had it in a couple of the 2K games too recently. I think 2K20 was the first one where you can actually try to recreate it yourself though and make a set. 2K19 you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shout out to Jerome watching us from PR.
Puerto Rico.
How's it again?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong accent. Sorry.
Let's do some WrestleManias. I think this was a cool one. WrestleMania 9, when we had the Coliseum theme when they did it at Caesar's Palace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Outside. What game was it? It was SmackDown versus Raw. I think 05 or 06. They recreated. It was like that was one of my favorite games to play that arena, because they had like the way they recreated it was beautiful.
What was the main event at that WrestleMania?
Yokozuna, Bret Hart.
Yokozuna versus Bret Hart, and then Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Did you get to check out that Yokozuna on the network?
It was good.
If you did,
I did. It really gave you a behind the scenes look into the life of Yokozuna, or what was his real name?
Rodney, I think.
Rodney, yeah. So we was able to see the Rodney instead of
something like that. Mo, I think this was your favorite.
Absolutely.
17.
WrestleMania 17, hands down, the greatest WWE pay-per-view ever.
That set is ass, though. I'm not gonna lie. 10 years later, that set's ass.
Deonte. What?
Listen. The pay-per-view itself, amazing. That set is ass, bro. WrestleMania 19 looked way better with all the fucking screens across the stage, bro. Let's be honest.
Are you serious?
Bro, that's a basic Titantron setup. Bro, that's a basic Raw setup. Look.
It's not Deonte.
Bro,
no, it's not.
Look at it. Look at the fucking set, bro. Look, it's two Mini-Trons, a big ass Titantron, and 2 WrestleMania signs, bro. It's a basic setup, bro.
It is. There are extra video screens and everything at the bottom.
No. Those are Mini-Trons. I'm telling, bro.
Yeah, Mini-Trons. There are extra Mini-Trons.
The last 5 WrestleMania sets have been way better than 17 set. I'm not taking away from the pay-per-view.
Who are you?
Ass, bro.
Who are you right now?
I'm being honest. I'm being honest. The pay-per-view is great, but that set is not it, bro. I've seen better WrestleMania sets, bro.
At the time, no. At that time, that was the greatest WrestleMania set.
No, WrestleMania 22 had a better set.
At that time, up until that time, that was the greatest one.
No,
I don't care if you cover your face.
No.
I can still see you.
It was not, bro.
And what are you talking about? That was WrestleMania. Deonte.
We got WrestleMania 18. Somebody put up WrestleMania 18.
I said up until that WrestleMania, that was the best pay-per-view set out at that time.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Let me see. WrestleMania 12 set. No, it was ass. Okay, it was just an entrance.
Everything is ass to you.
No, because I'm looking as a kid, I can say all those sets were great.
They didn't have any special sets for WrestleMania.
The only special set they had was in your
2000.
house. It was the house. Yeah, but until
WrestleMania 2000 was the first special WrestleMania set, and then they went all out for 17.
No, 14 and 15 had a little different too. They wasn't too bad.
They had a curtain.
They didn't. 15 had a different setup. It had like the X and the V and the entranceway or some shit.
So this was 18.
Well, I'm talking about. He said 12.
That's pretty dope.
Okay, Mo, I'll give it to you. 17 up until that point probably did have the best set at the time. But when we really sitting and talking about greatest sets of all time, there have been way better WrestleMania sets, and that set is basic, bro.
Okay, let's move. All right, so if we want to keep in the theme of WrestleMania 24 was good.
Yeah,
so that's
that's a great one. Yeah,
the building, it's like a Miami building kind of a thing.
Even WrestleMania 22 in Chicago, they rebuilt Chicago in their own way.
That was a good one. Do we have that one?
That was a great one.
22?
WrestleMania 22 in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they had wasn't it like the Chicago? No, it was the Sears Tower, right?
It was like the Sears Tower or something. Because what I remember, that was one of the first true video walls they did for WrestleMania. Because when Kane came out for the Money in the Bank match, it looked like the whole city of Chicago was on fire on the stage.
Oh wow!
Oh, so he's pretty much playing on the whole Chicago fire thing.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Speaking of the ones in the city, so I'll get that one going. But I really liked when they did WrestleMania 29 with the New York team. They had the Brooklyn Bridge and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That was the last WrestleMania that we also had CM Punk.
Okay.
Yep.
What about if we step away from the WrestleManias? Because I mean, if we take it back, I even think the 2000 Backlash
had good sets. I was gonna say that one.
That was a classic one.
Yeah, the swinging sights.
What's up with TLCs?
No, you don't have the Backlash one?
I do. But can you relax, Chief?
I'm sorry. Deonte got me fired up, you know.
You got me fired up.
You know.
This is what happens on the ringside. This is totally real.
Right.
This is non-scripted, non-rehearsed.
My bad.
Can't believe he said WrestleMania 17 was ass.
I didn't say the pay-per-view, the set, bro. I love the pay-per-view. That TLC match, Austin Rock #2. Austin Rock 2 was great, bro. The Austin turn, which eventually led to kind of the shitty invasion angle, but it wasn't that bad when I was a kid watching it. I loved everything about the invasion angle. But Yeah, no, the pay per view was good. The set itself, though, is like if we're gonna look at the grand scheme of it, it's basic. Since we're talking about sets,
What else we have?
He said Backlash was ass. Oh, I'm sorry, not Backlash.
WrestleMania.
the just the set, not the pay per view itself, not the match.
Yeah, I mean, he
card.
tried to compare it to. He said it was like a Raw set and all that, as if it was, like Raw is War or some sort of
attitude one. Yep.
It did look like exactly. That's exactly what it looked like. Raw is War, sir. It looked like Raw is War with a couple of banners that said WrestleMania on it and 2 Mini-Trons underneath the big Titantron. It did. It did. Stop.
You know what, Deonte?
Oh my God!
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
I hear you.
I know one thing. I was happy when SmackDown changed their set because I didn't like the original SmackDown set. I thought that was very generic. But when they came with the fist,
yes, the fist was the one.
I was like, okay. Now we're doing something.
At the time, though, that original SmackDown set was different from Raw. And then, we got the one highlight of that set was Rhino Gore and Chris Jericho.
That's how it started. That's actually the following week they changed the set
to the fist.
That's what they went on with. Exactly. That's when they went on to the fist.
We gotta build another set.
I feel like that set should come back with some of the elements of the new set that they had for SmackDown Live when they first brought it back, like the Titantrons and all that. But I think you should stick. I think the big fist was always like it was a SmackDown staple. I feel like that should always be like there.
Right.
But we talking about WCW sets. One of my favorites, well, two of my favorites was Bash at the Beach, and then it was Road Wild.
That's a good one.
Road Wild, they did in Sturgis. They were doing Sturgis. You have all the bikers in South Dakota. Then you had like the big stage, and then the ramp was made to look like a road with the street lines in it and everything. And the guys come out, and then it was their one pay-per-view outside of Bash at the Beach that they would always hold outside.
And now AEW owns the rights to the name, right? Bash at the Beach. Wasn't AEW using that as one of their pay-per-views?
No, I think WWE stopped it because they had it for a minute when they had they called it Beach Bash. I'm not
no Beach Bash,
certain.
No.
I'll have to do my research on it and re-educate myself, but I don't remember fully.
So what about a pay-per-view that I completely forgot about because it lasted for all 3 seconds, but Capital Punishment.
Yes.
2011.
Yeah, I like that set.
That's cool. That was good.
I don't know. Looks like a basic Raw set to me.
No, it don't. Definitely, really. I mean, hey, you want to know the difference between that?
All they did was add the rotunda at the top, the dome. The dome. I mean, that's all they did. It's a Raw set with a dome. It's a Raw set with a dome on top.
Mo, stop taking it personal. Get out your feelings. Okay, I never said WrestleMania itself was ass. Just a set. Let it go.
It's a great set.
Hey,
no. I'm talking about the set
like
itself.
Do like Elsa and let it go, bro. Let it go.
I never liked that movie anyway. And I like Elsa.
I don't like it either. I don't either. My daughter loves it, but let it go, bro. Just let it go. We from Chicago. The cold never bothered us anyway, bro. Let it go.
Got these highlights, Milo.
Okay.
Oh, man, let's go to WrestleMania. And anyone, all right, so when I put this one up, tell me the first thing that you think of when you see the set.
Basic.
Seth Rollins, bro.
Okay, I do think Seth Rollins, but that's the only thing about that. Like that big ass play button in the middle and the big video screen is basic, but I do think of the Money in the Bank cash in. That's the only thing that sticks out at that WrestleMania.
D, what do you want? What do you want in a set? Because everything we're putting up here,
everything is ass.
No, it's not. No, okay. So listen, okay.
Every single thing is ass in Deonte.
Like I say, the Halloween Havoc set, like the theme sets, bro. Like you said, there were themes. The Backlash had the sickles. When you would do fully loaded or over the edge, like bro, they had like crash cars. Like they really had it to send it over the top. So like you said, with just a basic Titantron and some pyro, it looks like another Raw or SmackDown. But when you have those sets that set it out, like No Mercy used to have the Titantron was just different because it had like the little design behind it, but it made it stand out. Bad Blood had you had those big light bulb things, but they were like blood drops. You know what I'm saying? Like it stood out. So like that WrestleMania, I'm always a fan of WrestleManias because the video boards they get bigger, they get better. But like you said, the WrestleMania 29 with the New York thing, when they did WrestleMania in Florida and they made like a roller coaster and all that. You know what I'm saying? Now the one
So,
that they,
so this little sandcastle is what you're looking for.
bro, Bash at the Beach as a kid, you mean to tell me you didn't like that? You got surfboards, people.
I don't
getting beat
know,
up and thrown in the
Deonte,
sand, bro.
because when I was a kid and I saw WrestleMania 17, I know that looked a hell of a lot better than some damn sand and some sand castles. So I see, all you need is sand castles, and you impress Deonte.
I don't need no damn. I don't even like the beach like
You
that.
don't need pyro. You don't need big screens. You don't need none of that.
No,
just
see, that's
get
what
some
you got me
castles.
wrong.
Get some
That's what you
sand.
have me wrong.
Little
That's what you
toys.
have me
Put the
wrong.
picture back up there. Put the picture back
Because
up
here-
there.
here's
Put
the
a
thing.
surfboard and some fake ass trees.
Oh, okay.
And all this other stuff, and you got the greatest pay-per-view set design
I
there.
never said it was the greatest pay-per-view. Stop
It's
it.
one of
Cut
your
it out.
favorite. You said it was
Cut
one
it
of your
out.
favorite.
It was one of my favorite sets because it stood out. Before then, WCW used to just have a ramp to the ring from the stage curtain, and then you would just get some pyro to fall from the ceiling. They never had big sets like that until Eric Bischoff started helping them redefine themselves. So yes, a Bash at the Beach stood out. Hell, if you want to talk basic, I can give you something basic that stood out to me that I actually like was NWO Sold Out. Look at them. Look at that setup. It wasn't shit but a video board, and then they made it black and white to fit the NWO. That was basic, but it was the whole feel of it because the NWO was taking over. It made you like, oh, the NWO have their own pay-per-view. They're taking over WCW. Is what stands out to me. Like to me personally, yes, it stood out a little bit.
Yes,
I mean, how about this with Deonte? I mean, this is like a up.
I love Armageddon. I love that set,
Okay.
bro. Like that, you see what I'm saying? Like
You know what I think about when I see this? This is an upgrade from your sand castles to a real castle.
Okay, so let me ask: were you a fan of any of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-views where they just had the big ass cage over the stage and one
At
big
first,
screen?
yes. At first, yes.
You were, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you about to say? What?
Yeah.
Now you got something against that now?
Nope. You probably like New Year's Revolution too with the big ass dragon and the fire breathing, didn't you? I like that.
I thought it was nice too. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, they used to have the fire coming out. That was pretty hot.
Yeah, and then that's what they used to have the elimination chamber. So I liked it. It stood out for a second, but then when they went elimination chamber, it's just a chamber around the fucking Titantron.
The streak ending WrestleMania 30.
Oh.
Yep. And then we have I think this was the most elaborate and cool one. The one in Orlando where they had the theme ride.
The roller coaster.
You brought about D was talking about the roller coaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they put the ring at the top.
Yeah. Which was the one where they had the end of the era Hell in a Cell? I thought that WrestleMania was pretty dope. How they did the whole like having a cell outside and how they set it up. And was that 28?
I don't know. You're the encyclopedia, bro.
You said, I know you're the encyclopedia. You said end of the era.
Yeah, end of the
For
era.
who?
It was Triple H.
Triple H and Undertaker.
That was 28. It was WrestleMania 28. I remember.
Oh yeah.
It was WrestleMania 28.
26, the Aztec little empire type of thing.
That was dope too. Stood out.
Yeah.
It must have been in Arizona.
It was Arizona. It wasn't Arizona, but I'm not gonna lie. When I look back at some of the card on that for that pay-per-view, that WrestleMania was okay.
Yep.
It was Sheamus versus Triple H, Batista versus John Cena, Edge versus Chris Jericho for the world title. That was when Edge won the Royal Rumble the first time. That was that year.
You know, speaking of Royal Rumbles, do you think we're gonna get another Royal Rumble in Chicago?
We've never had a Rumble in Chicago.
22. Remember? I mean, not Royal Rumble.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know what? Guys, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
WrestleMania. Are we gonna get a WrestleMania in Chicago?
Oh, perfect.
So the only way I can see that that was a big question when they went back to New York for WrestleMania 29 when they did the whole Rock and Cena 2, because at that point, remember I think if I remember correctly, New York was about to get snow around that time, and then being at the stadium, that stadium doesn't have a roof on it like Soldier Field.
Right.
They were talking about the possibility of possibly could that be a thing for Chicago and Soldier Field, because they're doing the big stadium shows now.
Right.
And
to your point, if they can do it in New York gets horrible winter weather. I mean, you can bring it to Chicago. I mean, you looking at around a March, April. Come on, April is nice in Chicago.
You know Chicago. It depends, bro. It depends, because we've gotten snow in April before.
Okay.
We've gotten snow in April in Chicago before. So I would love to see it, because one, I missed outside of going live. Like, I could have went to 22, but I messed my grades up in high school, and my mom was like, "I'm not giving you a ticket. You suck." I was like, "Oh, that's bogus."
So kept your grades up.
So bro, 40. I mean, April in us cold for us, it's okay. But you're trying to bring people over here internationally to go through a Chicago April.
Well, they went to an April New York.
Well, like I'm saying, but New York at the time, the weather, like, so it's a lot that goes into it. I'm pretty sure, like, it's a heating thing, the wrestlers and cramping up with the cold. So it's a lot that you would have to look into. Like, I feel like if Soldier Field, because
United Center, they can use the United Center.
No, but that's the thing. I would love for them to use the United Center, but it's not enough people. You know, the thing about every WrestleMania is to set up and beat the number from the year prior. They're always trying to always beat the number. You know, they always want 70, 80,000 fans. So, and they want WrestleMania to be that big spectacle. It is their Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It is the NBA Finals. So you want as many people and as many eyes on it as possible in the stadium. I feel like it's a possibility. We just have to one thing I know, Chicago taxes are crazy. So that'll be a thing, probably the taxes for Soldier Field. And like you say, it'll be a thing of the weather, how's Chicago's weather, and and basically Chicago has to make the bid for it. That's another thing. These cities have been bidding for WrestleMania for like the last 10 since like 22, 23. You bid for WrestleMania because it brings in so much other revenue, and then you have all the meet and greets and all that money and all, it's like a big ass Comic-Con. So you have to bid for it, and your bid has to be good to make them want to say, hey, we're going to bring it back to Chicago this year, because they know people in Chicago love wrestling. They sell out every time they get the
huge wrestling city.
Yeah, every time they hit Allstate, they sell it out. Sell it out.
So, agreed. So what we learned here, guys, is that every set besides Bash at the Beach is ass to D.
Oh my God,
that's funny.
And then from there, we will move on.
All you need
the quotables.
All you need is sand. That's it.
You put up Halloween Havoc. I said Halloween Havoc. He had it up there. What are you talking about? See,
when you said I can't get over WrestleMania. You had me at
you're gonna make me come to Chicago and give out a bunch of drop kicks, bro.
I told you I'm ready to do a moonsault. I will do a moonsault on you.
Hey, if you can perform a moonsault, I'll let you give me one in the ring.
There we go.
I would take it from you.
I just need Nilo and Q to like help me flip over. Somebody push me and
right.
I don't want you to try to do a moonsault and break your freaking neck like Kurt Angle, bro.
Well, I'm gonna try not to. I'm trying not to.
Let's go to our debate, which actually this whole thing has been a debate, so I'm okay with it. Let's talk about our Lollapalooza lineup. So,
hey fellas,
everyone,
I'm gonna start. Let me start. I'm gonna start this off because I got to get going pretty soon. So I need you guys to sit on this one.
Sit on it.
So Lala, we doing 10 artists or just top 5, or doesn't matter?
Yeah, whatever you get.
Let's
go.
My Lala, main stage, one and only has to be Michael Jackson. That's gonna kill. He never got the chance, but that would have been dope as hell. And
he never did No Lala.
Definitely MJ would have been a headliner. Prince would have definitely been a feature. Well, those are 2 headliners. So Michael would have had to have Saturday night. Prince could have Friday. So
Thank you, Chicago.
yeah. So
Appreciate you, Chicago.
Right. So definitely Michael, Prince, and I'm gonna throw it to
Chicago. Are you ready to rock, Lala?
I'm gonna give it to Prince, Michael, Usher. I'm gonna do Usher, and if we go on hip hop artists, definitely because I don't think Jay-Z. I don't think we got Jay-Z to do it, but definitely would have been Jay-Z and Drake. And I'm gonna leave that. That's those are mine. That's my motto right there.
Okay. That's a solid one. I actually had Michael Jackson and Prince on there as well.
Gotta throw the MJs in
You know, I wanted to throw Whitney, some Whitney Houston, some Kanye West, some Linkin Park,
easy.
some Bruno, some Aaliyah.
Definitely.
And I wanted to put Aaliyah and then Queen, get a little bit of some rock in there, Tupac. And of course, NSYNC. Every little day.
A reunion?
Okay. We have a little reunion. And then to close it out, Mark Anthony.
Okay.
And the stage got to be the WrestleMania 17 set.
That's the stage. Exactly.
That'll be perfect.
So we
hey fellas, I'm gonna catch you guys.
Yes, sir.
Please, a pleasure, man. Glad to have you on again, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And right, D, I know as well for you. So let's get yours real quick.
So for me, because I had to think, I was telling the guys earlier, I've never been to a Lolla ever, but as far as like 10 artists that if I had to, like a concert, Kanye West and Kanye and Twista are gonna be my first two. I got a rep for Chicago. Got a love for my home. That was high school. That was, everything. Lil Wayne and Drake.
Okay.
I put Lil Wayne and Drake. Those that's 4. If we gotta go R&B, man, I'll do Chris Brown because all the girls go crazy with Chris Brown.
Chris, yeah.
And then now that I'm gonna get out the way on that one. Now I'm gonna do like 5 old school ones. Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. Some Stevie Wonder. Probably put Luther Vandross up there. I'd love to see Luther live, bro. Like that would have been awesome. You said Whitney. I'm gonna go Mary J. Blige.
Mary, okay.
Mary, love me some Mary.
Go ahead and bust out those dance moves.
Right, she gonna bust out
on that Lolla stage. Yeah,
and she gonna bust it out in the dancery on everybody.
That's right.
And then I'm gonna go with what you said, Aaliyah. Aaliyah was my favorite singer growing up, and I'd love to see her perform live. Like I'd love to see where she would be at right now in music if she was still here. So
absolutely, I never got a chance to see her perform, so I would love to put. Well, a lot of these, actually, a majority of these artists that I named, I never had the pleasure of seeing. So Aaliyah definitely, and of course the Queen, the voice, Whitney Houston. So and Nilo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
A lot of similar ones, but I got to put country in there. So,
all right, nothing wrong with that.
So I had Tupac, MJ, Prince. Then we go to the country, Garth Brooks, because that man could put on a show. The King, George Strait. And then I did my number 6 is kind of like, because they're all in each other's songs, so you can put it in there. You got Nicky Jam, Maluma, your boy Bad Bunny, and J Balvin all doing kind of like a collab type of thing, which would be cool.
I can see all of them collabing together as well.
They're all in each other's songs, so it wouldn't be that much of a stretch. You got Biggie. I'd put my boy Bob Marley in there for a little. Ooh, there we go.
Bad Bunny, baby. Bad Bunny.
But yeah, so then you do. So we got Bob Marley. We got Romeo Santos for a little bachata, and then AC/DC.
AC/DC. Okay.
Oh, see, then you went rock, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Go in depth with that. But while you were saying that, I thought of 2, and this would be just for straight nostalgia and just for some straight ratchet BS. I'd have to have One Night headline by No Limit and Cash Money Records.
No
Limit.
That's gonna start the night off.
That's gonna start, and then you know what? With a special performance by Crime Mob, you gotta do Nothing If You Buck one time, bro.
Boy, you about to have people from the West Side and South Side together. Oh man.
And then it's gonna be, and then we're gonna have all the Chicago police getting called eventually.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun for that night. You
Yeah,
know.
we been turn Lollapalooza in old Atlanta Freaknik.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, it's good to hear. We have these fantasy lineups. We're not able to have concerts, outdoor venues, and parties and all that because of the pandemic. So, to just think if we had the opportunity, that would have been awesome. And those are some great Lollapalooza lineups, guys.
I agree. Agree
Definitely,
100%.
definitely.
So, as we start to wind down here, what I guess I'll ask you, D. What are you still actively wrestling out in Oregon, or do you have any new stuff out there?
So before yesterday, I put up like 3 more matches from my first year, from my year in 2019. And then, actually, I put one, two matches from 2019. It's a 6-man tag and a regular tag that I was in. And then I put a match that I had last year against a guy by the name of Ricky Mandel. He used to wrestle on Lucha Underground as Ricky Mundo. He used to team with John Morrison. Um, that I had a match with him, a title match against him last February, which was my last match as a for the year, for the calendar year. As of right now, I am currently just got back into training. Me and a bunch of buddies got back into training because Oregon still closed down right now. But I am looking into 3 schools that I'm possibly trying to go to with here in the near future, if not by the end of the year. I'm looking into the Rhodes Academy, which is Dustin Rhodes School.
Oh, nice.
He's in Texas. Also, Reality of Wrestling, which is a school I looked into. That's Booker T's school, which is also in Texas, and the Nightmare Factory in Georgia, which is Cody Rhodes School. And I actually know a bunch of guys down at the Nightmare Factory. Like I said, I actually know Dr. Luther, AW Deathmatch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I met Doc. I've trained with Doc once or twice. I believe he's one of the like head guys training at the Nightmare Factory right now, and a bunch of his students that he was training up here are actually in Georgia now. So, just trying to look and find places where I can get myself established and get some more knowledge, learn from some of these guys that are in the industry who are running these promotions and working these big time promotions, and hopefully get myself a spot out here, man. Like
Absolutely.
I've been sitting for a year, and I've been like just beating myself up because I've been trying to find different avenues. What can I do to get into wrestling? What can I do to get back to wrestling? Because they always said, once you get that first match, your first time out in front of a crowd, it's like the biggest adrenaline rush, and you can't let it go. You can't walk away from it. You can't. So,
well, man, I am looking forward to seeing what's coming from what the Black King has in store, for the wrestling world. And you always have a spot here if you want to come on and talk about or share some of your experience, matches, whatever. We'd love to hear, bro.
yeah, I mean, like I said, if you guys, I remember you saying one show, y'all would ask me what moves I've taken and stuff. I'll be glad to share those experiences with you guys. Like I say, there's been there's been some crazy stuff that happened in 3 years compared to guys that have a lot of stuff. But I mean, like I said, I'm just very excited. I'm very humble because I do thank God that I've even had the chance to do some of the stuff I've done. Like I've been a referee, I've been a ring announcer, I've done a lot. So I do have experiences. So. But I thank God for just, because not too many people can say they're going to do something and then manifest their destiny. And he's given me the tools and the powers to be one of those people that I walk my walk and I talk my talk. So
there you go.
Good. Amen. All right. So, D, where can they find your videos? Where can they find you on Twitter, all the social medias?
So at Twitter, I am is at first. That's at the number 1 ST King Hitman. That's on Twitter. That was my original. What I wanted my original stage name to be was King Hitman. And then on YouTube is also King Hitman as well on YouTube. So you can look me up there, or just look in the Black King Deonte Ford in the search bars, and it should pop up to my channel with my matches on there. Instagram, I believe, is King Hitman. Snapchat might be the same too. I I had people make me pages, and I'm just connected to stuff. So that's another thing I'm working on, trying to build up the social medias, trying to get more out there because I can't. I'm a brand now, so I have to. I have to let the world in on who I am. I got to get out of being an introvert, So
yes, that's right.
So cool. Well, D, we really appreciate you coming on the show this week. So hopefully we'll have you on in the future. But as always, we love how you're on the comments, fact checking our stuff, which is always
absolutely.
So,
no
Mo,
problem. No problem.
Like, people?
I'm always here for you, man.
For sure.
That's
Mo,
right.
anything for the people?
Well, free Britney still.
Leave Britney alone.
It's still free Britney. Great documentary on Hulu. So.
Oh man.
So.
Yeah.
And outside of that, just be sure to check us out next week where we have Musa on. So he spent time in AEW, all across the indie scene. So we'd love to chop it up with him.
Absolutely.
See what
Hey,
can get out of here.
Sit on my way. See if he'll wrestle me. I need to get out here.
Hey, that'll be awesome. Maybe we can make that happen.
Hey, man, hey, if you can make it happen, I will gladly bring my flight home to Chicago earlier than May. I will book it.
There we go.
That's
So
right.
yes, guys, please tune in next week. We'll have Musa live on the podcast. We'll start pretty promptly at 8:00. If you guys have questions, please get them in the chat. We'll try to get as many questions as possible for him. But again, thank you, D. Thank you, Mo, as always, for joining. Follow us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so that are notified when we come on. Follow us at the Ringside Hour on Twitter, and we will catch you guys next week. Till then, we're out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.